It's not just wind from a tornado that can cause damage here in Houston. This is what it looked like when a derecho hit in May of 2024. A derecho is a powerful windstorm that meets specific strength and distance requirements. It covers a distance of 240 miles and packs wind speeds of at least 58 miles an hour along most of its path. They produce isolated wind gusts of hurricane force and even spawn tornadoes. It all starts with a complex of thunderstorms that, under the right conditions, very warm, moist air at the surface and colder, drier air aloft, sustain themselves for a long stretch. When the squall line really strengthens, it bows, and we can see that signature on radar. It's called a bow echo. At this point, the thunderstorms push out exceptionally strong wind down to the surface through downbursts or microbursts, which causes the rain and wind to fan out horizontally. There are serial derechos, most often found in the plains, which are made of several bow echoes and move more slowly, and progressive derechos, found near the Great Lakes, that develop along a shorter line of storms and can move very quickly. Notice both of these typically develop well north of Houston. In fact, derecho climatology shows us Houston is in a zone that would be threatened by a derecho once every 4 years, and we just experienced it with our May 16th, 2024 derecho. It tore through our buildings downtown with wind gusts at 100 miles an hour, spat out 4 tornadoes that devastated Cypress and Waller County. The force killed 8 people and left behind $1.2 billion in destruction. Tracy Bragg shows us some of the destruction in the Heights.
Strong winds and heavy rains led to frightening scenes throughout Houston, including this would-be townhome crashing to the sidewalk in the Heights.
It was a loud noise, just nothing else was going to make it.
Jeff Baker watched a construction site turn to a pile of lumber and nails through his front window. The moments also caught by his security camera.
So I went and played it in slow motion just to make sure nobody was impacted.
Thankfully, Baker tells me no one was hurt. On the other side of the Heights, we found numerous massive downed trees, some of which knocked out power to the area, one even falling on top of a car, and another smashing through a home.
I was like, oh man, the whole house is, like the front of this house is gone.
But luckily, neighbors like Ricardo Guillermo were just doors away. He tells me instead of sitting at home in the dark, he decided to gas up the chainsaw and help those in need.
I have no clue who they are, don't know anything about them.
And as the chainsaws cut and the wood cracked, Guillermo met Daniel Lopez and 4 of his 5 sons dedicated to the exact same mission.
Look, make sure you get all these right here. In the next couple of days, we're gonna get all these guys coming out here charging an arm and a leg for this. If we can help, we'll go ahead and help our neighbors out, save some money.
Lopez says he met the homeowner just hours ago.
Did he say anything to you? Were they home when this happened? Do you know?
He was home when it happened, but he just came out earlier and just thanked us for clearing up some of the stuff.
Yes, miraculously, everyone made it out safely. As for these humble helpers, they had one message for all Houstonians.
Just get out and help your neighbors. It's about the best you can do.
When it comes to staying safe in a derecho, the advice is pretty similar to a tornado. Take shelter in a sturdy building and avoid open spaces. Some of the best prevention is to stay on top of local weather, especially when there are severe thunderstorms in the area. Of course, derechos are not the only destructive wind event we get here in Houston. Chita Craft is here to talk more about straight line winds.
Yeah, the sudden arrival of hurricane force winds can be a shock. Check out this video from a couple years ago at A&M. Straight line winds hit the campus, suddenly sending students running for cover. But how does this happen?
It all starts with rising air in the updraft of a storm. The air cools, causing it to condense, forming water droplets. Those water droplets will eventually become so heavy they fall to the earth in a pocket of colder air. When that air hits the ground, it compresses, causing the wind to increase in speed, pushing outward. Sometimes those winds can exceed 100 miles per hour. And while that is tornado strength wind, the difference is direction. The downdraft produces winds pushing outward from the storm in the same direction. Meanwhile, a tornado's winds are violently rotating in a circular direction.